Hey, we're back in Robocraft. Looking at why you might want to use wheels instead of tank treads after they've already taken over. So we're here at overclock level 2, and we're already up and over 110 miles an hour on the open ground. Here, just going up a hill, 107. That's going to allow you to get out to the towers and to the engagements and then back out of them faster. So movement speed is really, really important. And they made these big changes with the wheels a while ago, and it made them a lot slower. And some people like me had kind of written them off for a little while. They steer differently. They're really slippery. They don't have much traction going up a hill. But you want to look at. There's a lot of pros and cons here. For one thing, survivability tends to be better with wheels, especially if you've got 6 of them or more. You can lose a few here and there, and it'll still steer and go forwards and backwards. Whereas I see a lot of tank tread designs only have 2 treads. Well, if either one of those gets lost, you're almost entirely dead in the water. You can pretty much just shuffle straight forward and backward. And here's the biggest difference, I'd say. You can only have one movement type if you have tank treads, and that's tank treads. If you have thrusters on there, they're not going to help it steer, and they're not going to help it move forward or backward, really at all. And same goes for hovers. So you've really limited yourself to just one movement type, and it's just not very versatile. One of the worst problems is on the ice, and that's only one part of one map, but treaded vehicles are totally annoying when you get stuck on the ice. They have no traction at all. Whereas this thing, the wheels stop working, but because it has thrusters to make it go forward and to steer it in the front, you're good to go. And they also work in the air. So even when you take a sweet jump, you're still accelerating and still able to steer, which might not necessarily mean it's going to be graceful. If you wanted to soar gracefully off of stuff, you can always put a rudder somewhere, either pointing straight up or horizontally, lengthwise, and use them that way. So it's good to build the wheels and also thrusters and take advantage of that kind of combination that the two have there. And remember that as things get overclocked, it's just going to get faster. Of course, now that you've done that, you no longer have an infinite weight carrying capacity. But when I built this thing, wasn't careful about what cubes I used or how heavy I got. You know, it works out to being hollow in the end anyway. For a tank this big to be only 330 cubes, you know, it's pretty obvious that it isn't that beefy. It's built on, that axis of symmetry here. So I'll go ahead and pop off the guns, the electroplates here. So you can see once those get blown off, hopefully it'll leave this intact here, but then there's nothing to protect it anymore. And then you just kind of choose where the pilot seat is. It's either over there or over here. I did redirect the damage from the electroplates to go out to the outside, which means, yes, if these sides get blown off, it'll kill the electroplate, but I tend to face everybody straight on, and then they don't get a chance to shoot the sides. And it's also 2 blocks thick all along the side there. So we're redirecting our strength to be the critical areas are in the very front where it attaches and in the back. So you always got to trade your weak points around. And then the gun mounts, instead of going down to the chassis, just radiate out to the side, just like that. That's worked pretty good. It's pretty tanky for what it is, but not as good as if it was just solid blocks. The neat thing is when the electroplates take damage, assuming they don't die, they get a chance to regenerate. And then this thruster thing, this would probably be stronger if you just had a big blocky tunnel in the middle. I really like having the thrusters along the central axis, so that you don't get the situation where if there's a bunch on one side and they get damaged, you literally can't drive anymore because of your thrusters. Because in those situations, it'd be better off to just have no thrusters at all. And I've definitely seen that before, especially on hovers. They've got thrusters on the outside, way away from the central axis, and all of a sudden you can't turn them off. When you hit W, they all fire, and then they're all on the left side. You're not going anywhere. So I didn't use too many CPU in this. This is in tier 6, but you could actually build your own version of this at that time, I think, if you take these off, and you don't have as many thrusters. I'd recommend 6 wheels, however you want to make that work, and, something like that. But this is kind of a cool arrangement with the electroplates. I didn't have this much money when I was in tier 6, so it's fun to go back there and kind of just do a clean sheet design. All right, that's my little SMG cruiser. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll see you.